Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Today I'm going to review an album that is different for me. It's by Tears for Fears called The Tipping Point. This is their first album since 2004. And this band plays the type of music I usually don't review on this channel. So this review will be a little different than most of my other reviews. And we'll go through the songs that I did like, but there were like a lot of songs that really weren't for me. So I'm not going to do a track by track. First, I'm just going to give a quick background on the band, a little bit on the album, and then I'll just go through the overall sound of the album, and I'll just mention a couple songs that I did think were for me, even though most of the album was not for me. So Tears for Fears were a very popular band in the 80s. I remember them very well from the album. Songs from The Big Chair. You know, I had that album back in the day. It had those two big hits, Shout and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I also remember back in 1989, they released The Seeds of Love, and they had that big song, Sowing the Seeds. And after that, I didn't really know anything about the band, but that brings us to the year 2022. This is their first album since 2004, when they released Everybody Loves a Happy Ending. So it has been a while since their last album. So if you don't know, Tears for Fears is basically two persons, Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith. They actually started working on this album back in 2013, but they had some problems with their management company, and you know, things got delayed, and they did kind of like reconvene in 2020 to basically like complete this album, and that's kind of just briefly what happened. There's probably more to the story. But the songs are not like their older stuff from the 80s that I remember. It's more of an updated pop sound, using a lot of electronic elements, and sounds more like modern pop. That's probably why I didn't really like the album that much, but I did think there were a few moments that I felt I did kind of enjoy it a little bit, so I'll talk about those right now. The first song was called No Small Thing. I actually liked it because it started with like this acoustic guitar strumming, and it kind of reminded me of like something like Tom Petty has that album. I thought the album was actually going to sound like this, but it doesn't. You know, the first song does kind of have this like singer-songwriter quality to it, but it's only the first song. Second song, Tipping Point, was where the album started to lose me because it was just more of this like slow, electronic, very ambient type of song that it's just really not for me. I could compare it a little to like modern Radiohead, but that's kind of what I thought of it. Actually, the third song called Long, Long Time reminded me a lot more of that like modern Radiohead. Track 5 was called My Demons, and that one I could get into a little bit because it did have more of that like 80s electronic type of sound. Think of a band like Depeche Mode, like that kind of thing. So I did enjoy that one a little more than the other ones. Track 6, Rivers of Mercy. That one brings back that singer-songwriter type of sound, and that was a song I did enjoy a little more. Even though they did bring in that like ambient stuff and you know, towards the end of the song, but you know, I was a little more interested in that one, and I thought it was okay. Track number 8, Master Plan. That one had a sound closer to their like 80s synthesizer sound. So I did enjoy that track a little more than the others. It kind of has a very nice beat, and I did like that like rhythm to it. The final song on the album is called Stay. It starts with a finger-picked acoustic guitar, has vocals with an echo effect, and this one I actually liked a little. You know, almost reminded me of like maybe like Pink Floyd a little bit. I thought it was a decent song. Like the other songs, they do incorporate that ambient electronic noise type of sound, but it was a nice relaxing song, so it wasn't too bad for me. So in conclusion, I'm not going to give this album a final score because it's not really the type of music I normally listen to. And I don't normally like do this type of review, so I don't really feel that like my score would be appropriate for this type of review, but just letting you know that this is a very heavily ambient and electronic type of album. Like I said, you know, during this review, there were a few songs that I did kind of get into, but it's not the type of album that I would go out and purchase or... But then again, if some of the songs did show up on like a streaming playlist, I wouldn't necessarily like skip them over. But anyways, that's my thought on the new Tears for Fears album called The Tipping Point. Let me know what you thought of the album if you listened to it already. So that's all. I don't have anything planned this week. I might do like a collection update, or I might do something else if I come up with something. But otherwise, you know, to check out some of the other videos I have been doing. I have been doing a lot of new releases this weekend. And always, please remember, like, comment, subscribe. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews, and I'll put some videos over there if you want to check them out. And I'll see you in the next one.